Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me
Good
some.
day, Madam.
Show me some. Hey, show me some.
How are you, buddy?
I'm a fantastical.
Fantastic. We're wearing our merch, huh?
We actually got it. And this is it. Like legit, like hashtag don't suck at sales.
Hashtag we're legitimate now. Hashtag we need a store to sell merchandise out of. Should we get like a physical location, or do you think just a
Oh,
website?
and we might need one. How many people are gonna want our merch?
You know what's funny is that even when I was in Canada, because we had just gotten the shirts for Canada, when I was in Canada, and I think I wore it out one day. I definitely did, maybe after we shot some of those pictures. And so many people commented, oh, like, is that what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh no, this is our podcast, and just have multiple conversations about it being our podcast. And then ever since being back, I think I wore it out one time too. And like the lady at the convenience store, she mentioned it, and like it's cool how many people kind of notice it. So hey, get
I
that
wore it on the golf course, and me and my like 10-year-old kid were like hashtag don't suck at sales every time we'd like go grab don't suck at sales. It was really fun. They're like don't suck at golf. Like, okay, well,
It's so funny.
yeah.
That's
So you know what's been really cool? I love when I get to travel around because you get to talk to people that like aren't in our industry, right? Like people that have jobs, jobs, right? They have to ask for time off from their work. And sometimes this whole idea of being like in business for yourself, being your own boss, having your own like agency, sometimes it's scary for people because they're like, wait a minute, like I have a guaranteed salary. I get paid no matter what. Like I show up when I say I'm supposed to show up, and I work, do what I'm supposed to do, and I get money. And in this business, it's like we can get paid a heck of a lot more. But I almost think that it is basically guaranteed income if you do the right things. So that's really what we're going to talk about today, because I was dealing with an agent earlier today, and I'm like, it's almost like buying a lottery ticket that you're going to win on if you do the right things, right? So I remember like I was scared as crap. Like I had never really been on like full commission before going in this business. I had my own business before, but I had a deal that I still got paid. So it was kind of like not really. But I remember going into this business and I needed like 12 grand a month. And I was like, oh boy, how can I make sure no matter what that I have that money coming in? And the answer was simple, right? It came down to activity. It came down to making sure that I bought enough leads every week, but that's not going to do anything if you buy leads and you don't work them. Okay. So here's the secret. You have to call your leads, and you have to call them a lot. Okay. Like podcast is over. No, but seriously though, like, I remember like my non-negotiable was getting 15 appointments and getting in front of 10 people a week. That was it. And I sucked at the start of this thing. I was sucking at sales. That's how I know all about it, right? Like, I wrote the book on it. But what happened was I got in front of 10 people a week, and you cannot lose if you get in front of 10 people a week. It's impossible. Even if you're the worst person here, you get in front of 10 people a week and you will make probably about $150,000 a year just on production, on our comp plan. So John, I'll pause there, but like, we'll dive into how you do that in a second, but that's really the secret sauce.
I think you're absolutely positively spot on. Like, here's the thing. I tell people this is a joke all the time, but like my socially awkward little brother, he hasn't cut his hair in 6 years. He hasn't washed it in the better part of 3. He's like socially awkward. He's got like these limp wrists and kind of sweaty palms when he goes to shake your hand. He's just nervous around people. Even he can help out 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 at an average commission, I don't know, $700-800, $900, somewhere in there, right? So you're making $2,000, $25, $27, $3,000 a week. You're earning while you're learning. If that's all you do is sit with 10 people a week. So yeah, it's like, I love how you said that. It's almost like it's a guaranteed paycheck. Like Miranda, I've been doing this for 7 and 8 years now. There's not a week, not 1 week that has gone by that I've not made an income, that I've not made a paycheck. right? That I've not had a direct daily deposit hit my checking.
DDD.
That DDD, y'all. But you're spot on. It's extremely predictable. And then some weeks, you know, you have that amazing week. Other weeks, it's like, not as good. And then you have your 2 average weeks that if you stay consistent and persistent, it ends up being a good month, y'all. So yeah, I'm with you, buddy.
So how many dials does it take to get in front of 10 people a week? That's really the big elephant in the room.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, because it was way different for you than it was for me.
That's right. Wow. Yes, that's so true. It's like, I remember there's sometimes, you know, I was lucking out, right? I would buy my leads, like, you know, 15, 20 leads a week or whatever it was, maybe more, but you include bonus leads, maybe it was 50 a week, whatever it was. And sometimes I'd get on the phone and then like 1 3-hour block, I would book like 15 appointments, have enough appointments to get in front of 10 people, and it was easy. But then I remember those other weeks when I wasn't as lucky, I hate the word luck, but I'll use it for fun, where I would have to call literally all night Friday, all day Saturday morning, all day Saturday night, all day Sunday. I probably put in 20 hours of dials to get in front of 10 people. I remember I lost count, John. It was probably like 600, 700, 800 dials, but I knew if I got in front of 10 people, even if I sucked at sales, I would still win. And I did, right? And I do. And even still now running production, I get in front of 10 people. Even if I suck, I'm still going to help probably 5 people out of them, you know, like, so. But that's it, right? That's really it.
Yeah, no, buddy. And you know what, too? It's like, gosh, I think back of it, and I don't mean to say the shrewd or whatever, but like, that was my average week, Miranda. It was like your toughest week from a dialing perspective. I think it's just because I was so nervous on the phones, and I was so afraid of like hearing no, because I was broke and I couldn't afford the leads. And like, I created so much pressure and anxiety and stress and whatever it was. I just had this like fear of hearing no, just from an affordability standpoint. So it would cause me like every single week to make 1,000 dials a week. I remember being on that stupid like text message string with you in the very beginning. Do you remember that one? And what you would do is like, you'd be like, all right, I'm ready to dial, you know, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you get done at 7. You're like, all right, I got my 15 appointments for the week. And I'm like, what the hell? I've been dialing since 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're at 7 o'clock now. You're at 15, and I'm at like 3 appointments for the day. 4 appointments for the day. And it was very consistent that I was making 800, 900, 1,000 dials a week. But here's what I'll say is like, in the beginning, when you're learning this business and you're just not that good, like, it's whatever it takes. So you're calling it the elephant in the room, and it's just whatever it takes to ensure that you're sitting with those 10 families a week. It's whatever it takes to make sure that you're hitting that 15 appointment mark. And for me in the beginning, I mean, it was taking 800, 900, 1,000 dials. And then once I relieved myself of that stress and that pressure and that anxiety, and I got good at the business and I had money in my bank account again, then it was like, boom, 14 appointments on a Friday, and all I had to do is, another 20 minutes, half hour on a Saturday, or whatever it was. But it's like, you can call it the elephant in the room, but Miranda, whatever it takes to get.
And I'm talking about, you don't just do it for a week, right? You do it every week. You do it every single week. What you lack in skill, you can make up with activity. And I promise you get in front of 10 people a week, you will not lose at this business. Yeah. I would say that would be the number one reason people don't win, is because they don't get in front of enough people, right? And like, for me, I would rather spy less leads and just call them a ton, because I know I'll just call until I get in front of that many people. So that's it. Don't let the phone and your phone calls or your lack of stand in the way of your success.
Yeah. Yep. It's so good. And another thing that I'll say too is like, buddy, it takes a minute to learn this thing, doesn't it? Like, that's what I always try to tell people. Like, if you're first introduced into the insurance industry, you're not going to feel comfortable with your presentation until you've sat with at least 50 families. And are you going to take 5 weeks to do that, or 5 months?
for
And I
5
want
years.
to encourage, yeah, 5 weeks. That's where the recipe for success is. And so I always just encourage and empower people in the very beginning of this thing is to say, look, I would encourage a 6-week budget every single week. Pick your day. If it's Tuesday, if it's Thursday, whatever day of the week, that every single day of that week, you're buying leads for 6 weeks straight. And you're going to make a commitment to get a resolution, to get through every single one of those leaks. And here's what I'll also say, and this is our business in particular, but if you come here with, with $150, $200 budget every single week for 6 weeks straight, I can pretty much reassure that you're just not going to make it. And like, I might even go as far as to saying that to you, Miranda, is like, if you are who you are, you came into this business, you have $150 a week budget for 6 weeks straight. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to maybe set 3 or 4 appointments. You might sit with 1 or 2 of them. You may protect 1 or 2. And what it's going to look like over that, like say for your first 4 weeks, your first week, you're probably not going to protect anyone. Your second week, you might protect 1 or 2, and then one of them falls off. Your third week, you might not, you may only protect 1. And then your fourth week, you may have a good, 2 or 3 families that you're helping, where it's like at the end of that, like you may have written $4,000 in production, but like, that's just not really profitable. Don't get me wrong, you're going to be making money, but think of over the course of a month, how many hours you're putting in. It's just not a realistic. So what I always just encourage people to do is like, for every $100 that you spend, it yields about $1,000 in annual premium volume. And that's really going to start happening once you spend about that $500 or $600 per week number at a minimum. And those are the people that I've seen come in here and absolutely kick butt and start destroying it. Like, you start getting into that realm of $600 a week, this $2,400 a month, you're going to start writing $20,000 in premium. And then that's going to give you the ability to kind of go through those learning curves a heck of a lot quicker.
Assuming you call them, right? Assuming you actually dial them a whole bunch. And that's the other part. But yeah, John, I didn't have that kind of money when I came in, but the whole point is, even if your budget's smaller, you take that next sale and you reinvest it to keep upping the budget, right? Like, you cannot like build $1 million business on like $100 a week, it's like, so don't do that. Don't do that.
Go
But
sell
yeah.
it.
So talking about dialing a lot, we don't want to be like that stalker, like ex, like girlfriend, boyfriend that's like calling them a bajillion times. Well, we do, but we actually want to be like doing it from different phone numbers. So you want to be like the ex that's calling from different phone numbers to the, you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you want to be like the creepy ex that's smart, that's switching those phone numbers.
So you want to, here's what I recommend. No, hopefully my boyfriend's not watching. He's probably like, what in the world?
Right. Oh boy, we know what kind of ex you're going to become. Yeah. Maybe you want him to hear it, and then that way he won't leave you. I don't know.
Ooh, okay. So so you want to have, like, you got your cell phone, maybe you got another like burner app, you can get phone numbers, but I would say you want at least 2, 3, 4 phone numbers to be stalking your people from.
Your leads.
The leads. Okay, because if all as I was doing is production, John, this is what it would look like. Like, I would call for sure the morning, for sure at night, the leads. But if I had the time, I would actually maybe call them again at lunchtime from a different phone number. So I'd call in the morning from one phone number, lunchtime a different phone number, and then around like after dinner from another number. And then tomorrow I would do the same thing, but I just keep rotating those phone numbers. If I had 4 phone numbers in the time, I might call them 4 times a day. I don't care, because I'm going to keep calling them until they pick up the phone, because I don't care. Like, you're rich, you're broke, you're rich, you're broke, right? Like, I keep calling them, and I'm going to call leads that I had from years ago. I don't care, because I got to get in front of how many people? Spirit fingers, right? 10. So like, I don't care if I have to call leads that I bought 2 years ago. I'm going to keep calling them. So maybe I call on this pass, like all the leads that I bought for like the last month, I call all of them, and then I do it again tonight. Maybe tomorrow I start with leads that I bought 2 months ago and work my way backwards. Like the guy that makes the most phone calls is the guy that's going to win. So don't be a victim of not making enough money because you're not making enough dials and you're not buying enough leads. But the leads don't dial themselves. So call a lot from different phone numbers. Make sure they're not showing up as spam risk as well. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah, there's a way that you can do that on I don't know exactly what it is, but figure it out to make sure that your phone number is not showing up as spam. That's actually really important.
Actually, you know what we'll do? On our website, we will have some information on how to do that. So go to don'tsuckatsales.com and we will do like a little article, John. We'll post a little article, one of our first ones on there about how to not have your phone number show up as spam risk.
Would you just look at it? I love it.
Look at it.
Right. I love it. What should they do, Mer? They should click subscribe, or here, is it right here? Link.
It depends, I think, on which platform they're on watching this. So find it. We
And
believe
maybe-
in you.
And maybe you want some cool merch too.
Yeah.
The Don't Suck at Sales merch, y'all. We're so grateful that this is turning into what it's turning into and just all of the amazing feedback. We appreciate you guys so much. So click the link. Keep
Don't suck
subscribing.
at sales.
Don't suck at sales. Hashtag.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.